Hey, my name's Anthony Mosley. Come join me on my real estate ride-along. Well, Benny, I finally got you. Well, we got summertime back in Michigan, man.
For a day or two.
Yep, 53.
Real estate's like the weather.
Okay.
You don't know when it's going to change.
You don't. So how do you prepare for it?
Oh, first of all, you got to have a proper attitude.
Okay.
Okay, you got to understand that things are going to happen. Things are going to change. So what you have to do is you got to stay ahead of it by preparing yourself for the change. Right now we're in a seller's market, right?
Right.
Okay. So what if something happens with the feds and they flips the script and become a buyer's market? What are you going to do? So you got to plan for that. You got to exactly, but you got to plan for that because that could trip your business out. So you got to come up with a couple tricks.
You sharing any of those tricks today or not?
Well, you know, usually what
silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
No, what I do is I just go knock on people's door and say, "Hey, fool, you gonna sell your house?" No, you can't do that. But you can do, and people don't like to do it. On a nice day like today, you can go out and drop off some flyers in people's mailbox.
Ooh, that's federal offense.
Huh?
Federal offense. Can't put it in the mailbox.
Well, yeah, but you know
put it on the door.
Put it on the door.
We got to make sure because part of this is education for newer agents.
Well,
if a newer agent goes and starts putting stuff in mailboxes, they're going to say, "Well, Benny Wesley told me."
You cannot do that. You cannot do that. What you have to do is anything that goes in the mailbox has to have a stamp on it. Has to be a post. I would go knock on people's door with a flyer if I think they're at home. If it's a time that of work and they don't look like they're at home, I'll put a flyer on their door. And when you do that, be truthful. Don't say I have a person looking in this neighborhood and you don't have any buyers and you're a new agent. You know what I mean? Because now your credibility's ruined. Okay, so you could say something like, "There's agents in our office that can't find homes for their clients. Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?" And then you know you got to have that clause on there that says if you're being represented by another agent, this isn't a solicitation for you, type of thing.
Just a fine print or something.
Just a fine print, baby.
Ethics law. You're supposed to learn that in the school, right?
Yeah, but people forget it all the time. The only thing I can say is, you know, you want to run your business to where you can actually sleep at night. You don't have to worry about, did I do this wrong, or was I unethical, or did I treat somebody bad, or whatever, you know. But I think a lot of times younger agents, you know, when they get into real estate, they realize that this isn't easy. You know, I'm not going to be driving a Mercedes-Benz tomorrow. You know, no one told me it was going to take 60 days to get a paycheck, you know, if you're lucky. So sometimes that lack of dollars motivate us in the wrong way. So
desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
They flick the angel off the shoulder.
Right.
The ethics angel.
Yeah. Daddy got to eat.
You know, we kind of jumped right into this today. We did this. This is what I love, man. It's backwards. We're having a conversation, but we went right past everything and went to the end. And you just talked about preparation. Well, first of all, how many years you been in real estate?
Almost 3.
And your background's crazy, man. You're almost like a legend. So before becoming a realtor.
Yeah, realtor.
Not realtor.
Yeah.
You were in public safety, right?
Yes. Yes, for 23 years and 4 months. So I always round up. So I have to say 24 years.
Yeah, I got $199 in my pocket, or do I have $200?
Exactly.
What made you get into real estate? What was it? What was the calling? Tell me the story.
Well, I knew I didn't want to do police work or fire work anymore. I'm one of those type of people that I can't do the same thing all the time. It makes life boring. So I wanted to get into something where I can still help people, because I think that's my calling, is to help people.
Yep.
I really, really get energized out of when people find that house that they really like, or you help them get a deal together and stuff like that. So that's a kick, and that's kind of a bonus. But the way I got started is I went back to school to get my degree at Cornerstone University, and one of the people who was in my presentation group was a realtor, and she told me, you should look at getting into real estate. I think you'd be good at it. And I said, you know what? I had wanted to buy houses and try to flip them, and that type of thing, like everybody else. And I
Get rich
said,
quick, man.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I did. I went and got my license and everything. And then once I got picked up by, an agency, a broker, I started learning that this job is challenging in a different way. There's different stressors, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you still help people. So
you got in real estate. Who was the original broker you came on with?
Berkshire Hathaway.
Which back then was...
No, it was Berkshire.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was Berkshire Hathaway when I got in. Yeah.
And who are you with now?
Keller Williams.
Very cool. And you got a cool little team. People do teams for different reasons. Some people like teams, some people don't. Your team's really cool because you guys accentuate on what each person's strength is.
Yeah.
One of your number one teammates is actually your son.
Yes.
Mr. Courtney Wesley, which we should have on the show sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Very charismatic.
He's a good dude. I tell people I want to be like him when I grow up.
Me too, man. Me too. And he's doing really well right now, and he came in from another industry. And then you have Jillian, right?
Yes.
Jillian? And she's like the whole Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah, she is the office manager. And she whips us into shape, get us doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Motivation. What is your motivation in this field? Like, what is it that gets you out of bed in the morning and go to work? Because we all know as self-employed people, independent contractors, business owners within real estate, that we're not punching a clock. Right. And I think that's where newbies come in, new people into the industry. It's kind of hard for them to handle that, and that's some of the people that get lost is because there's not that structure.
What I look for in a team member is somebody who is self-motivated, because despite what some people may tell you, you cannot motivate another person. You can say stuff that sparks their motivation,
right?
But if you got to drag somebody off the couch, you're going to have to drag them the whole time, So first and foremost, you got to have somebody who's self-motivated and who wants to be successful, And so once you have those two things, the rest is just basically putting the dream and the idea in front of them and having them come up with what Keller Williams talks about as the big why. Why do you want to do something? Why is it important for you to be successful at real estate or whatever you do? And I look at it from a pain versus pleasure thing.
I love that comparison. I use it all the time. That's interesting.
How does this look for me not making my goal this year? You need to set goals around your big why. Then you need to set the ways you're going to reach that goal. Okay.
Do you think, because I've heard people that say that before too, is that their why changed. Do you think the why changes, or do you think the person's perception of what their why was changes?
Ooh, that's a great question. I like the way you worded that. What I believe is that sometimes you set a goal for yourself, and this is your big why. And then with me, as I get close to reaching that goal, I realize I didn't stretch myself enough. I'm going to get this. I got to change what my big why is so I have that motivation,
Yep.
So sometimes circumstances in your life outside of real estate change. where that'll change your why. So
I agree completely, man.
yeah. So as long as you're moving in the right direction, I think all positive things are going to happen.
I love it when people tell me that money's their why. Money. What's your why? Why do you do? The money, man.
Nah, bro.
Those are the people that have the evolution and their why changes.
Yeah, but my thing is this. Money doesn't make me get out of bed. You know what I mean? That's not. Money's a byproduct of what you do. But when you get out there and you have this blue light special hat on and you're money motivated, people see that. And guess what? You're going to be a one-hit wonder. You're going to do that deal with that person one time.
It's a wrap. We have a lot of those in our business, though. We call them turn and burners.
Yeah.
You're pretty new to the business.
Uh-huh.
You've lasted. A lot of agents fall off within the first 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the number one thing was that you did, or what was the biggest reason you think that you made it to where you're at today? And twofold question, what do you see a lot of agents that are coming new into the industry doing that is setting them up for failure?
I think it's a lack of training. Basically, what I see, reason why people fall off, and I was guilty of this like my first 6 months, but I did something smart. I was smart enough to realize that I've never been a real estate agent before, okay, and I never owned my own business before.
Right.
So I got a coach.
Okay.
The first thing you should be doing is when you become a real estate agent, the very first thing you should do is send out a bunch of letters and emails to all the people that you know, letting them know that you're in real estate. Because I guarantee you, one of them are going to buy a house this year, and they're not going to buy it from you because they have no idea that you're in real estate.
Dropping knowledge, man. Dropping knowledge. It's the sphere. Focus on your sphere. Some people build sustain their whole business that way.
Your database. Because guess what? When times get hard in this business, it only makes sense that people are still going to buy houses, okay? But when the business slows down, where is that going to come from? It's not going to come from Zillow. It's not going to come from Boomtown or anything like that, because people aren't going to be able to buy leads,
right?
So where it's going to come from is the people that you know. So you got to stay out in front of them. You got to build that database. You got to, you just got to be out there, and be in front of people. When somebody says, hey man, I'm thinking about putting my house on the market, they should always think of you.
Go from invisible to visible.
Yeah.
And then go from visible to value.
I don't even tell people what I'm doing or where I'm from, or what I do for a living. They'll ask you, and then you tell them and let them spread the word, And so when you come from contribution, you're a lot better off than you are coming from a me.
Man, look, you're like the oracle today, man.
Well, hey, I don't mind telling people what I learned because because I can't be them and they can't be me. You know what I mean? So,
I can't be them and they can't be me.
I
can't be them and they can't be me.
No.
I dig it. What's the most bizarre thing you've run into in your 3 years as a real estate agent?
There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. I think the most bizarre thing is, in my mind, is no one likes to not be in control, okay? And you get a guy who likes to be in control of everything, or used to being in control of everything. That guy is kind of really, really weirds you out. It's like, man, I know this. What is wrong with you? They get like a recluse of it. They're not trusting. They don't want to come out. They're constantly thinking. They'll call you at 2:30 in the morning and go, hey man, I was just thinking, what are you doing up still? That's bizarre to me. I mean, for 20 something years, you trusted me with your life, you can't trust me with this paperwork.
Yeah, I get
You know
it.
what I mean?
Well,
We kick doors together, for crying out loud. And, you know, it comes to this deal here, and they lose it.
You know, that's the thing with our industries, though, is that we're handling probably the most expensive investment, and most important investment they're ever going to have,
Without a doubt.
And it does bring the most bizarre thing is the behaviors that people show us when they're under that stress.
Yeah. The more difficult the person, once you get it done, the more gratifying that deal was. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Because you're like, ha! I was able to overcome that and get it taken care of for them. And now they're happy
That's
with
the
it.
high five moment.
Yeah. Now I'm their best friend.
Do you ever just pull up next to people and smile at them, watch their reactions?
No.
I do it all the time.
You can get shot like that, right?
Well,
Because everybody's carrying a gun now. Right?
Yes, I got killed for a good reason.
Yeah. What you smiling at me for?
What time is your meeting at 2?
Yeah.
All right, one more quick question.
Okay. I'm Benny Wesley with the Wesley Group at Keller Williams in Kalamazoo. You can reach me at 269-760-0430 or bennywesley.kw.com.
You never know what you're going to see on Real Estate Ride Along. Please subscribe below for future episodes.
Is it the clapper?
Let's go!
It's the clapper?
It's the clapper.
Hey, fool, you gonna sell your house? No. You can't do that.